So, a year or so ago, this crossover was announced between Archie Comics and Dark Horse, pitching Archie against the Predator. By far one of the wildest crossovers ever, and a lot of people are like, oh god, that's so fucking stupid. But you have to understand, this isn't the first time Archie's crossed over with weird shit. Remember Archie versus the Predator? Archie meets the Punisher? I'm reviewing Archie versus Predator. Yeah, Archie meets the Punisher, and yeah, he's met the Ninja Turtles. Dude's crossed over with a lot of weird shit, and it's been interesting, to say the least. So, at this time, you've had, horror comics like The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and you also had Afterlife with Archie, which I think is still going on, which is the zombie it's like The Walking Dead, but with Archie characters. So this is not, Archie encountering the Predator is not totally out of the realm of stupid. But yeah, this crossover, now, I will say right now, this is a 4-part crossover that knows what it wants to be and goes on its merry way. We don't judge it for that. We don't do anything. We just let it go on its happy, merry way, and nobody questions it. And that's what this crossover is one big, it's more of an Archie, I hate to say it, but it's more of an Archie comic with the Predator in it, but that doesn't that doesn't really mean much, because here's the thing about Predator crossovers. When you do them right, the Predator isn't the big character. He's more of the antagonist. He is the big driving force that the other character he's crossing over with has to overcome. So there isn't really... So, yeah, in Batman vs. Predator, it's a Batman story with the Predator in it. In Superman vs. Predator, it's a Superman story with the Predator in it. In Magnus Robot Fighter, it's a Magnus Robot Fighter story, but with the Predator in it. So that's the thing, if you're a major Predator fan, you kind of know, when you pick up these crossovers, you're like, oh yeah, the Predator's not going to be the main star, because the Predator has to die. Or does he? Get to that in a moment. I will be spoiling a few things in this comic, so yeah. This has been out for a while, and I figured you guys don't really give a crap anyway, so yeah. So the crossover begins is that Cheryl and Jason Blossom are going on this big vacation, and they're kind of mocking Archie and his friends for not being able to come with them. But just as that happens, Jughead pulls out something out of a potato chip bag that says, "You win!" And they go to the same island vacation spot that the Blossoms are going to. And the Predator at the same time is there hunting. While there, Betty discovers a dagger that has some kind of connection to the Predator. And here's the big thing with this crossover that I kind of discredit for it. It doesn't explain a lot to it. There's this whole thing about the dagger, and the Predator wants this dagger, this mystical dagger that can repair itself after it gets broken. And the Predator really wants it, but it never explains why the Predator wants it. And you could say, oh, but it's people are carrying it, so that means they have a weapon, so that means the Predator can kill them. No, it seems like the Predator really wants that dagger, and you could say, oh, it's like a Predator tool, but it has the head of a jaguar on it. I don't know, it never goes into detail with it. Also, the Predator has a weird thing for Betty and Veronica towards the end. I don't know where that comes from, and again, it never explains why, but it does lead to a very fucked up ending towards the end. As the story continues, the Predator follows the group back to Riverdale and proceeds to start hunting them. And boy, does it hunt them. This comic does not shy away from the gore. I mean, in the first issue, you see the Predator, just disembowel the Blossom siblings. Just straight up murders them. And then in the opening of the comic, this thing just hits the ground running. The Predator just takes the cannon and just blows Pop's head off. And you just see blood and bone and gore everywhere. Sabrina the Teenage Witch even gets it. The Predator just rips her spine out after she does some weird Cthulhu incantation. And then Salem gets blown away. You see him, dissolve. Oh my god, it's so gory. And here's the fun part. The Predator and the whole thing is done in the art style of Archie. Not, Francis Francavilla and the other characters are, the other artists. This isn't a dark art comic. This isn't really a dark and gritty comic. Well, it is very dark, but in a dark comedy. But the thing is that it's not done in like a dark and gritty art style. No, it's done in the art style of Archie and Friends, and it's hilarious to watch all of these characters just get straight up butchered in this art form. Like, seeing Sabrina just get her head ripped off, the spine still attached, and Salem just blown away. Jughead gets it. Oh man, poor Jughead. And then the weirdest shit happens. Archie, towards the end of the comic, Archie gets wounded by the Predator. So at the end, it mostly becomes Betty and Veronica fighting the Predator. And Veronica's mansion has like this machine that can repair any damage to your body. But however, they overdo it with Archie, and it makes it into like this Hulk thing, and him and the Predator fight until the Predator kills him. And this is the really fucked up part. Not the part where Predator like rips his head off, like puts his head through his skull, like puts the blades through Archie's skull and just kills him straight up. No, this is the really fucked up part. At the end of the comic, Betty, who's completely lost her mind after this, has taken the Predator and is now surgically transforming the Predator to look like Archie so he can serve Betty and Veronica. That is the most fucked up ending. This is some Tales of the Crypt shit right here, guys. It is so fucked. This comic is so fucked up, but in a fun way. That's the best part, is that this comic just knows what it wants to be. It knows what it is. It knows what you came for. If you bought this comic, you know what you're getting into. You know exactly what you're getting into with the title of a comic called Archie vs. Predator, and it knows what you came here for, and it gives it to you. Granted, there are the problems of it doesn't explain, like, the Jaguar dagger. It doesn't explain, the Predator's attraction to Betty and Veronica. It doesn't really go into deep explanations with a few things. And also, something really weird happens towards the end where some of the remaining characters run off, and Jughead and Archie just criticize them for being cowards, and I'm like, no, they're the smart ones because they get to live towards the end of the comic. Your dumbasses stay here, and all die. So yeah, it's kind of like horror movie 101 right there. Anyway, so would I recommend this? Not unless you're like, as long as you know what you're getting into, plus as long as you're an Archie, if you have an understanding of Archie, I'd say check this out, or a major Predator fan, I'd say give this a look. I would say I recommend it, but that's just me. So, there you go, guys. The review of a comic I never thought would ever happen in a million years, and I really enjoyed it. So, you guys comment below. What did you guys think of Archie vs. Predator if you've read it? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.